Hey guys, what's up? My name is Nipri and welcome to my studio here in Tel Aviv. Today I'm gonna show you how I made my singer more than this. Hope you enjoy it. Let's go! Okay, so the reason why the two projects are separated, the vocal mixing project and the actual project of More Than This, is because I'm using the Universal Audio sound card and I'm using lots of Universal Audio plugins, and this is taking me lots of CPU power, so this is why I'm separating the vocal processing project from the actual project. So let's go to the vocal processing project. Okay, so what I got from Cameron, the lead singer of this project, was actually four vocal stems. The first one is the lead vocals, which this is how they sound dry.
I'm gonna be the one you remember.
We got the doubles.
And tonight I feel like I'm flying.
We got the harmony for the actual part, like the climax of the song.
Making a run, both feet on the gas.
And we got the ad-libs.
Oh.
And the processing was a bit different for each vocal stems. So for the lead vocals, what I did is I have a simple EQ from a FAB filter with a bit of boost in the higher frequencies. Next one is a compressor by Universal Audio. This is called the LA2A. This is an optical compressor.
I'm gonna be the one you remember.
It's not compressing much, between 3 to 5 dB gain reduction. Next up we got the RVox, which is also a compressor from Waves.
I'm gonna be the one you remember.
Also not compressing much, but the same as the LA2A, it's compressing between 3 to 5 dB gain reduction. Next up is the Nectar 2 from Isotope, and I used three features for the lead vocals. First one is the harmony, which you can basically pitch up or down your vocals or by any semitone you'd like, and you can separate the pitch vocals to the sides. So this is how only the harmony sounds like. And this is without.
I'm gonna be the one you remember. I'm gonna be the one you remember.
So we got just a tiny bit of wideness on the sides from the pitch vocals. Next up is a simple saturation. And the last part is a de-esser from Nectar, which is only like reducing the higher frequencies, which is unpleasant to the ear, such as tss and stuff like that. So this is what it's doing. Next up we got the Pultec EQ by Universal Audio as well, and I just boosted a tiny bit at around the 8000 kilohertz. And we got the Valhalla Room. This is my favorite reverb, and I'm using it only to give a tiny bit of room space to the vocals.
I'm gonna be the one you remember.
Next up for the doubles, this is pretty much the same processing as the lead vocals, just in this case what I did is I didn't use the harmony and saturation, only the de-esser. Same for the harmonies.
Making a run, both feet on the gas.
And when it comes to ad-libs, what I did, it's the same processing, just in this case I used the CLI vocals just to give the ad-libs a much more feeling of space with the chamber reverb of CLI vocals.
Oh, oh.
And now, in order to set the volumes right, what I did is I bounced the instrumental version of More Than This. This is just the actual song without the reverb. And what I did is I routed all the vocal stems to a bus. This is the vocal group, and on the bus itself I put a vocalizer, which receives the instrumental as the sidechain input, and I'm just the tool itself is adjusting the volume according to the sound coming from the instrumental. So this is pretty much the processing of the vocals. Now everything together sounds like this.
Eyes and I'm gliding, and tonight I feel like I'm flying. Making a run, both feet on the gas. I'm not afraid, just wanted to last. Oh.
Now the next step is to bounce the vocal group into a single file and just put it inside the actual project for More Than This. Okay, so this is the main project for More Than This. We got the vocals bounced from the previous project.
I'm gonna be the one you remember.
And on the intro, I got two pianos, which both of them are taken from Contact de Grandier. I hope I pronounce it correctly. The first one is playing the chords, and the second one is the melody. And the way both pianos are processed is I have a simple saturation from FabFilter Saturn. I got an equalizer from IIEQ, one of my favorite equalizers. Next, I use the FabFilter only to boost in the sides for the 300 Hz, and I cut in the mid side only the 170 Hz, just to keep space for the bass itself, which will come in the next spot. And on the second piano, I only put reverb from Valhalla Room, just to give it a feeling of space, and a simple equalizer. And on the next part, I added a piano which I'm calling air piano, which is a really white piano. This is taken from Addictive Keys, one of my favorite plugins for piano sounds. And the second one is the same piano as the chords piano, just in this case what I did, I put lots of reverb on it and widen everything to the sides, just to give it a feeling of wideness, and everything together sounds like this. I got a wrist bass taken from Silent One. I got a filtered kick, which is a stadium kick taken from the Cashmere pack. And now to sidechain everything together to the kick, what I did, I used the Ghost channel. And what this channel is basically doing nothing. What I'm doing is I'm creating a MIDI part here, which is playing the rhythm of the kick. And this channel is routed to a bus, but this bus is routed to no output. So basically no output, no sounds are coming out from this channel. And I put a compressor on the chords group, which is receiving a sidechain signal from the group of the Ghost sidechain. And every time the note from this MIDI is being played, the chords group are being ducked.
I'm gonna be the one you remember.
On the next part, what I did is I added a stomp kick. We got a snap, closed hi-hats. We got strings, also taken from Contact. This is the Action Strings package. We got a pad from Serum, the same wrist as before, and a simple sine wave.
I'm gonna do the things that ain't been done.
And on the chorus, what I did is I added claps. Another one, a closed hi-hats. This is the same sample as this one, just this one in a different rhythm. I got the pad. Now, in order to give more movement to the chorus, I'm using the Virus TI2 synthesizer. I'm using it to create 3 chords, and I put it inside the chorus, and this is how it sounds like. This is the first one. We got this one. And everything together.
And tonight I feel like I'm flying. Open up my eyes.
And on the build up, I got the stomp again. And I got another layer from the virus just to fill in the bottom end of the song.
Feet on the gas. I'm not afraid, just want it to last. Oh, and tonight I feel like I'm flying. Oh.
Now when it comes to automation, I got automation on the drum group. What I did, just automation of frequencies. And I got some sweeps. And we got automation on the bass itself, which is also just an automation of frequencies. And this is it for the build-up part. Now, just before the drop, I added the small sub-effects I made. And now let's go to the drop. Now the drop itself, let's go from bottom upwards. The first thing is the kick. I used a sample from Cashmere. I put equalizer by far filter just to cut all the low end I don't need in this kick. Next up is a top kick. I put a sausage fattener just to give it a tiny bit of saturation. And because I only need like the top click of the kick itself, I EQ'd it, so we'll just hear the click itself. Now when it comes to bass, I got 3 layers of bass. First one is the Reese bass. It's the same one as the break, just in this case I EQ'd it a bit different to make it a bit open. I got the saw bass, also taken from Spire, and the last one is the sub itself. I used the Maserati B72 from Waves just to give it more harmonic content. When it comes to the chords of the drop, I got 4 layers of chords. The first one is taken from Silent. Second one is taken from Serum. Third one is also taken from Serum. And the fourth one is from Silent. And when it comes to processing, again, not something unique, just a simple saturation from far filter. I got again the IEQ. And what I'm doing with this EQ, I'm removing unpleasant frequencies from the sound itself. So if we'll hear, for example, these frequencies, and I'm doing this for all across the frequency spectrum of in all the channels here. Now when it comes to the synth of the drop, I got 3 layers of synths. I've got one from Spire, the next one is from Serum, and the third one, which is the main body of the synth of the drop, is coming from the virus as well. Now when it comes to processing the synth drop, what I'm doing is I'm using my go-to EQ, which is the Mag EQ4 from Waves. What I'm doing here is I'm boosting the higher frequencies. This is without. Next one is an EQ from Logic itself. I'm using it only for automation when the break is about to come in. Next is I got next I got two compressors. One is receiving a sidechain from the Ghost sidechain group itself, and the next one is receiving an input from one of the snares, so the snare will be able to pop in the mix every time it hits. And when it comes to drums in the drop, what I got is this is the first snare, this is the second one, and we got the Jack Q snare, and we got the hi-hat. So everything together sounds like this. Now the second break is a bit different than the first one. What I got here is a kick, the same as the drop, just in lower volume. We got a closed hi-hat. We got the snares the same from the drop. We got the strings, a pad, the same chords from the actual build-up. Now to give it extra movement in the second part, I added another layer of hi-hats. And now the chorus is the same as the first chorus. And tonight I feel like I'm flying. Open up my eyes, making a run, both feet on the gas. Now when it comes to outro, the same pianos as the intro are playing. Just in this case the melody is a bit different, but the processing is still the same. Okay, so this is it, guys. Now that we got everything covered, let's go into the mastering. Now when it comes to mastering, my mastering chain consists out of the SSL compressor. As you can see, this compressor is compressing pretty heavily, around the 6 dB gain reduction. Next up is the UAD Ampex. This is a plugin from Universal Audio, one of my favorites. This is an emulation of a tape recorder, and I'm basically using it only for saturation. This is without. You can hear a significant difference, especially in the hi-hats and in the low end of the track. Next is the C4 by Waves. This is a multi-band compressor, and I'm only compressing the low end of the track just to make it even tighter than it is now. Next is the studio channel from Nomad Factory. I'm not using this tool for compression, but rather using it for saturation, only for the warmth here. And what I'm doing is I'm lowering the input level just so I'll have more headroom, so I can process it even more in the next plugins. Next is the Brainworks control. I'm only using the mono maker here, only 150 and down will be mono. Next is the UND Cambridge. This is also an EQ, and I'm just cutting the 30 Hz, all the frequencies I don't need in my master. Next up is the FA filter. Again, the same as the main project, I'm only using it just to boost in the sides and in the middle. This is without. The track sounds a bit more wider than it is. Next is the Fab Filter Power Limiter. I'm only using it to limit the snares in the drop. You can see it's working only when the snare hits. And the last plugin is the Invisible Limiter. And I'm using the PSP X Dither because you're basically transforming your project into an MP3 file, which is a 60 bit. I'm using this plugin just to make it even smoother. You can read about dithering in Google. It's a really important concept, and this tool is solving lots of problems. Okay, so this was More Than This. I hope you learned a lot from this walkthrough. If you guys have any more questions, don't forget to leave them down in the comments, and I promise to answer all of them. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out!